Okay, hey guys, and welcome back. So, what we have here is a survey that Blizzard sent out to some active Diablo 2 players, I guess, randomly. And so we're just on Reddit here having a look at what the survey said. So I'm just going to read it off line by line for those interested. So these are things that Blizzard is considering implementing into Diablo 2 into the future. So they have it going from most appealing to least appealing as far as what people are selecting for their opinions. But anyway, I'll read off what the options are. So the ability to re-roll staff mods in the cube to change modifiers on a rolled item. Skill tree expansion that allows dynamic changes to existing skills. Adding a new mercenary type in Act 4? I don't know my Roman numerals, but I'm pretty sure that's Act 4. Act 4 or 5. Sorry, guys. If I had to guess, I'm guessing Act 4 since that's lacking a mercenary. Server-wide activities where all players contribute to shared goals and earn rewards. Oh, that's pretty cool. An option to disable chat entirely. Yep, I'd love that. I hate the spam sometimes. Like, I like the ability to chat when I choose, but otherwise I'd love to be able to turn it off. New skills added to every class to expand build options. I do like that idea. A lot of people are fighting it and want to be Puritans and like preservationists and like keep things as they are, and I understand that sentiment, but that's why this Reign of the Warlock is like a reset. So you could play your classic LOD, that's now a separate entity, or if you're moving over to Reign of the Warlock, like expect changes, right? Making previously one-off quest rewards like socketing or imbuing repeatable. That's a big one for me. That's high up on my list, honestly. Yeah, I would love that, especially the socketing. Like, I love imbuing too, to be honest. I love imbuing a good ethereal dimensional blade and then upgrading to phase blade, like if it got a lot of enhanced damage or like fool's mod or increased attack speed, sockets, stuff like that, right? Because phase blade can't roll as ethereal, it's fun to imbue a regular item to a rare one and then upgrade it into the phase blade variant, right? Anyway, let's continue here. I don't want to get sidetracked too much. A solo self-found mode with no trading or outside help. So that's pretty cool. If you like solo self-found, you want to show off on your YouTube channel, you know, that you haven't traded your way to your gear or whatever. That's pretty cool. It's fun to do like a solo self-found hardcore just for the challenge. New appearance options for town portal visuals. Sure, I don't mind cosmetic stuff. Why not? Augmenting gear by adding a specific affix directly onto an item. Augmenting gear. So this kind of like corruption shards from some of the mods type idea. Okay, I welcome that. I really like that idea. Remote in-game trading for item bartering without joining another player's game. This is a must. If you want to bring the game into modern gaming, this is a must. Okay, continuing on here. Adding a new mercenary type in Act... Oh, we already covered that. In Act 4. Okay, anyway, maybe they repeat some of the questions. Or maybe I just repeated myself. Sorry guys, I'm moving the screen a little too much. I just want to get the perfect like focus here so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at without compromise. Okay, I think this is good as it's gonna get. Next page here, new NPCs in town, details to be determined. So probably with like new abilities as well, I would imagine. Maybe they'll have like a new imbuer, that's all they do is imbue items, right? Maybe like a Jamela type character, she just imbues items with her magic. Or maybe they have like a socketer, like a new smith, that all he does is socket it repeatedly for you for a price, perhaps for gold. It would be a good gold sink, you know, make it very expensive but not out of reach. Same with imbue, like you can make these gold sinks and make gold have value again, right? It'd be a great way to make gold have value. Okay, I'm trying not to get too sidetracked with my own notes, but it's getting me thinking, right? So, okay, a new act with 6 quests containing the story. A new act with 6 quests, continuing the story. Yeah, that'd be amazing, and I think if I'm being real, next to maybe repeatable socketing, this is everyone's like #1 wishlist item. New act. Yeah, definitely. Please, you guys can do it. The ability to reroll staff mods in the cube to change the modifiers on a rolled item. Some people are against this. I like it. Like, people are saying, well, what's the point? Why would you keep hunting for new items if you can reroll existing ones? Because at some point you get bored with the reroll and you chuck the item. We all do it, right? If you don't eventually get your jeweler's modifier or whatever you're going for there, when your monarch doesn't eventually become a J mod, you eventually chuck it. At least I do. So I don't think there's any danger of being OP or anything. I like this idea. I think, yes, let's have more cube. The cube should get way heavier usage than it does. Like, it already does a lot, sure, but it could do way more. The cube is a central part of what makes Diablo so interesting, right up there with rune words, right? The cube and the rune words are these, like, almost like mystical aspects to the game, because they're just so different from other games in terms of the amount of possibility and randomization that they offer you, and replayability to the game. So, okay, let's continue on here. Reduce disparity between caster and melee classes through an item and build balance. That's fine. They're just talking about balancing more. Sure, yeah, always very cool when you can balance things more. New town, new characters, each with their own stories and services. Yeah, that would be great. Very cool. And anything that expands the lore, expands towns, expands new dungeons, new maps, anything that does that, I promise you every Diablo player is all for it. 3 new quests to finish Act 4. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sure. And not only quests, but, like, guys, Act 4 is so empty and it's such a breeze. Make it expansive, add new maps, finish it out. Like, all the other acts have, I don't know off the top of my head, but let's say, like, what, 9, 10 waypoints, something like that. Act 4 has 3. It's boring, right? Let's add more. Maybe there's, like, a rift that opens up now, and that takes you to all these new extra levels. Like, we can do something interesting. Or maybe the earth opens up and there's, like, a cavernous, you know, stairway leading us down into all these new levels in Act 4, deeper into hell, whatever. There's cool things you can do. So, okay, I think that's the last item. Yep, let's continue on here. So, skill effect combinations where one skill can trigger or enhance another. For example, X detonates Y. Yeah, I like that a lot. This is a very modern RPG mechanic. It's kind of like, okay, if you cast Nova, maybe it'll cast your on item cast chance. So, for example, say, like, you have a 5% chance to cast lower resist on your weapon, just for argument's sake. Your Nova could now trigger that. That'd be very cool. Or say you have an item that says, like, you know, 10% chance to cast Twister, I don't know, level 20 Twister on hit, and then Nova could trigger that. These are just examples. It doesn't have to be Nova. It could be any ability. I'm just saying for argument's sake. Also, I hope that they bring Whirlwind in line with this, where Whirlwind can detonate and trigger, so to speak, different skills and effects with Whirlwind, because right now it's pretty limited. It can only do, like, double damage, open wounds, and, like, crushing blow. But outside of that, I don't think it can do any skill triggers or procs, and that's sad. Okay, anyway, continuing on here. The ability to build or create structures in-game. For example, statues, town elements. Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. For somebody who wants to live in the world of Diablo 2 as far as, like, my gaming experience, I wouldn't mind if they fleshed out the game a little more. And again, Puritans and preservationists will argue that this is going too far, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's cool. I want to be able to expand and decorate my town. I want the town to have more meaning, not just as a place of commerce, but as a place where, you know, maybe I hang out while I'm having my slice of pizza or something. I'm hanging out in town. I'm conversing with other players or NPCs or whatever, but maybe there's more to do in town. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but you could have, like, mini games, things of that nature, things to make town more engaging and a place to be, right? I'm not saying anything that'll distract you from gameplay or take you away from the magic finding and the demon slaying, but just, like, make town more appealing and not just this, like, in-between quick pit stop where you just go for repairs and whatever, right? Okay, anyway, so that's very cool. That gets my vote. I love that idea. server-wide activities where all players contribute to shared goals and rewards. I swear I've read some of these already, but maybe they repeat a lot of the same things to gauge people's authenticity. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. Expanded cube recipes for crafting options throughout item progression. Definitely. Always more recipes. Pump it, and not just that, but revise old crafting recipes. There's a lot that people never craft. You can figure it out very easily online. Let's just say this. People craft the blood ring, people craft the caster amulet, and people craft a few other niche things like crushing blow gloves, which are the blood gloves, or people craft the javelins sometimes, right, for fun. Although I find those are very rare that you get a good roll for something worth trading or selling. And that's about it. I can't think of too many other things people craft. Sometimes they'll craft the like armets or the casks to try to roll for like 2 sockets with the mod that gives the attack rating. I'm forgetting the name right now, but it's kind of like a percentage based on skill, on character level, and then in addition to that you can roll like 10 deadly strikes. So like they can be decent helms, don't get me wrong, if you've ever rolled one, but it takes forever to roll one, or to get roll one close to that, right? Visionary mod, that's what it's called. Visionary mod that gives the attack rating percentage based on character level. Okay, anyway, continuing on here, but a new playable class added to Diablo 2 Resurrected. That's new, okay. So I feel like that's almost their delayed way of saying, you know, here's your second playable character for the expansion. Because again, if you guys remember Lord of Destruction, you didn't just get the Druid or the Assassin, you got both. Which really made it feel more expansive. It really brought more to the world, right? It really fleshed out the world better, the world of Sanctuary. So last item here on this page, cursed items with affixes that unlock after completing special objectives. If I understand that correctly, that's pretty neat. So maybe certain items, special items, get more properties as you kind of complete, they call them objectives, but really it's like a mini quest, right? So that's cool. I dig that. Yeah, and so I guess some of the questions just repeat themselves. I'm just going to read them as they are, though. A new act with 6 quests containing the story. We've read that before. More meaningful itemization with clear trade-offs and less automatic best in slot behavior. Yeah, they absolutely need to balance items more around that, especially as far as like, don't focus on nerfs, but you guys have a lot of underpowered like uniques and rune words that really get no play at all. They get found, that's it. No one makes the rune words, no one keeps the uniques. Same with set items, right? A lot of useless, weak, underpowered set items. For me, it never made sense why sets weren't the strongest thing in the game, because you have to build up to them. It takes time to find or trade for all the pieces to complete a set. So to me, it never made sense why by the time you complete a set, it should be one of the most powerful in slot options. Why that wasn't the case. But anyway, they should do that, and they should just increase the rarity of the set items and make them very desirable, right? Continuing on here, a charm bag that lets you store charms inside a dedicated inventory container. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know if you continue to get the power-ups from the charms when it's inside the bag, but if you do, I'm all for that idea. Something to make it tidier, sure. Get back some of that inventory space so you can put your gear there as your magic finding. You know, I like that a lot. New appearance options for town portal visuals. Okay, again, we're reading some of these repeat questions. A new Paragon style talent tree system. I don't hate it as long as they give me more skill points in this Paragon style talent system, even if it's every like 5 or 10 levels, but you get another skill point. Because in Diablo, there's a lot of synergies you want to get. So if you want to create some high-end hybrid builds, you really need extra skill points. There's no way to get them, right? This might be a great way. So maybe like every Paragon level you get 5 stat points, and then every 5 Paragon levels you get 1 skill point. And maybe it only goes up to 100 levels to limit how many skill and stat points you can get, right? Maybe it only goes up 100 levels, so it's like an additional 99 on top of the original 99, something to that effect. Or they could go crazy with it, put it to 1,000, make the skill points every like 20 levels, 25 levels, whatever, right? Make it a little bit harder to get. whatever they do, I like this idea a lot. I hope they implement it correctly. I do hope they implement some way to get additional skill points. That's just me. Okay, continuing on here. An option to disable chat entirely. Again, that's a repeat. Skill tree for individual skills, deeper specialization options. Skill trees for individual skills. Yes, I like this a lot. They have this in Diablo 3, which I know is not everyone's cup of tea. Some people say it's too arcadey. I loved it. I loved being able to customize my individual skills. So, for example, making a fire hydra into a cold hydra that now slows as well, chills, right? Lays down ice that chills enemies and slows enemies. So stuff like that, I dig that a lot. They should definitely consider that. A new playable class, again, repeat. Reduce disparity between caster and melee classes through item and build balance. I mean, they should bring that to the game. I think the way that they need to do it is take like an old school approach. If a build is a strength build, like a barbarian, make it so that they're incredibly tanky, right? Very hard to take down. A choice pick for hardcore. Things like that. If it's a paladin, make it so that they are truly defensive in a meaningful way, not just when the character's walking, right? But they're always defensive in every way, with resistance, with defense, with damage reduction, curse reduction, life regeneration, all that good stuff, right? In that manner, even though they might not always be perfectly on par, at least it gives you a motive for playing that character over a caster. Like, just make the melee classes and choices unique enough that it makes exploring them fun, and it makes picking and playing them through fun. And then people won't always default to the sorceress or the hammerden or all the obvious picks or the warlock nowadays. So that's a huge one for me. If big if true, as they say. Meta progression, where achievements or progress on one character benefit others. Okay, I got no problem with that. Sure, some people say no, but again, it doesn't hurt anyone, so why not? New skills added to every class, expanded build options. I believe that's a repeat now, but sure, yes please. Making previously one-off quest reward systems like socketing and imbuing repeatable. I believe this whole line has been repeated, but yes, please do that. Big check for us. Next page here, new town, new characters. Okay, again, repeat. Expanded, repeat. Skill tree expansion that allows dynamic changes to existing skills. Sort of reworded, but a repeat. Yeah, that's a big one for us. Sorry, check here. Most appealing. Improved chat room experience with a better user interface and localization. Definitely. The Diablo 2 chat is terrible. Everyone knows it. It's a joke. And it used to be better in the original, like in the Lord of Destruction. So it's really too bad that it's in the state that it's in. New monsters added into the game. Definitely. We need more variety. Even amongst the individual packs, like say zombies or fallen, they need to have a variety of looks for those. So like different looking fallen, different sizes of fallen, different looking zombies, different sizes of zombies. Like, they need that variety. To me, that's where realism really comes in. A solo self-found mode with no trading or outside help. Again, that's a repeat. Adding a new mercenary type in Act 4, repeat. Skill effect combinations where one can trigger or enhance another. For example, X detonates Y. Again, big check for us. Let's do it. 3 new quests to finish Act 4. Let's do it. That's a repeat. A new map-based challenge system where you select specific encounters for specific rewards. Yeah, I'm good with that, especially if those specific rewards involve things like unique jewels or runes or, mid to high tier uniques or rare sets or whatever. Yeah, I'm all for that. That's great. Improvements that raise the power of lower performing builds and balance the meta. Definitely very needed. I know I keep checking least appealing, but I just mean to do a big check like, yeah, let's get on that. We need to implement that ASAP. A hotkey that instantly initiates trading. For example, control plus left click. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Honestly, anything that makes trading more accessible, I think, is a big improvement. I'm all for it, and I think a lot of people would be heavily in support of it as well. So let's continue reading here. Support for cross-platform play. Sure, we would love to see more people be able to play together. Group focus features where players work together towards shared goals. Okay, yeah, fine by me. That's a repeat. New environments or zones added to the game. Definitely. Finish out Act 4. Add more waypoints. You guys have the room for it. You got the space. And then new acts, new maps. And don't just stop at like an Act 6. No, no, no. Let's keep going. Let's push Diablo to Act 10. Everyone knows, like... Again, I'm not trying to sound like I want it all, right? But everyone knows that that would be hugely welcomed by the fan base. And while it may take many years to get there, that's fine. That's part of the journey. Like, it would be so cool to build up to an Act 10 and have that many acts within the game. The game would certainly feel more complete and would never get boring in the truest sense. Like, at that point, you could have so many different options of where to magic find. It would be really cool. It would take a bit of rebalancing as far as like zone levels and stuff, but you know, it could be done, no problem. Okay, continuing on here. Remote in-game trading for item bartering without joining another player's game. Big check, again a repeat. Ability to reroll staff mods, repeat, but big check. Cursed items, blah blah blah, repeat, big check. Okay. Sorry again, I'm just trying to get the best kind of like fix on this page for you guys. So, loading improvements that prevent loading into death. I don't 100% know what that means, but I think this is in regards to hardcore mode and maybe not like I don't know, maybe like when you enter a portal right into a pack of monsters or something. I don't quite know what they mean by loading into death, but it'd be interesting to find out. Whatever improves the game, big check for me. More customization for loot filter and better highlighting for rare drops. Definitely. They also need to make it so that you can select your own color choices for different things. For example, if you want runes to fall and be like a purple that really gets your attention, you should be able to select that. So color selections for things. Crafting changes or item level is no longer included in the recipe. I don't really like that. I heard other content creators also state they don't like that. Keeping the item level kind of helps to determine the outcomes. So if they never considered the item level, like I don't know how you'd be able to kind of control the outcome a little bit to some extent, which is a nice thing to be able to do. But anyway, I guess I'd have to see it in action. New NPCs, okay, that's a repeat. Augmenting gear by adding specific affix directly onto an item. I believe this is a repeat, but sure, let's do it. Server-wide activities is a repeat. Guys, that's it. It looks like that's it. And what can I say? A lot of these are great suggestions. I think they need to expand more on the rune words that they offer us. I think they need to expand more on the uniques. I also think they need to rehash a lot of the lower end uniques into usable items. Items like corpse, more, and armor come to mind. They're fun to find. The defense is great. Then that's where it ends. Then you really have no reason to use it. You got a couple of corpse explosion charges, but does anyone ever build characters around that or use them? No, never. Not beyond just like for a laugh, right? And that's not what you want. You don't want items to be like laughing stock or like a meme build. You want things to be meaningful, so review a lot of those uniques. Like another one that comes to mind is like sparkling chainmail. It's such a pathetic item to find, right? Let's make it fun again. I hope they send out more surveys like this to people. I hope they send them out to more people. I never got one. I was just going off someone's provided one from online. And I'm not salty or anything. I'm just saying it would be nice if they sent them out to more people. And I love it, you know. I hope this fuels further content creation for our favorite game. Alright guys, catch you in the next Diablo 2 related video.